just through there like that, and this bit here on the end. We'll bake that down. Let's move our texture out of the way and change our layer style. It'll either be a darken or a multiply. Let's pull that back. And again, I know that the way it looks in Mari will be different slightly to the way it looks in Max. It tends to come out a little darker in Max, so you want to work with it being a little bit lighter in Mari than you would normally do. Let's use that same texture along this down on the bottom down through here, I think. Again, we've got our layer style still selected so we can see as we paint what it's going to look like. Bake that down. Let's jump around to the other side. Let's throw that through the bottom edge through here, I think. So again, I'm just going to rotate it to make sure it lines up with our underlying model and paint that in. And again, we've got masking turned on, so we don't have to worry about it accidentally overpainting a bit we don't want. And I think maybe this bottom edge through here. Okay. I know this is the front, so I think I want to paint something just down here along this base bit as well. So I'm just going to zoom in a bit, angle our model up slightly, throw on a new layer, grab another texture, scale it up just a bit. I'll paint that through here. And I'm going to paint over the white underneath, but because we're going to change the layer style, you'll see it pop back in shortly. Okay, let's bake that down. Let's move our texture out of the way and play with our layer style a bit, maybe an add. And pull it right back. Okay. Let's export this and bring it into Max and have a look. So export flattened, export everything flattened. We'll leave the name the same. We'll go OK. Alright, let's jump back into Max. Again, we're going to reload our texture so we can see it. Pay no attention to these black marks here. This is just the viewport in Max, the low quality shadowing that it's throwing on there. Just going to select the object so that Max has a reference, and we'll zoom in and rotate around on it so we can get a better look. Okay, now the front of it's not too bad. I do want to change up the top a little bit though. I want to just throw an overall dirt pattern through the top sections here, I think. But I wanted to keep a darker texture on the outer banister so that the small columns in the middle would pop a bit more in the render. So let's just jump quickly back into Mari again. Again, we're going to throw on a new layer. I'm going to rotate the model up like that. In fact, I'm going to rotate it like that. We're working on a new layer. I'm just going to grab a texture I can use as like an overall dirt texture. So, no, not quite. Maybe. I'll know it when I see it. This one might work. Let's just rotate that around a bit. Just going to scale it down a little bit as well. And again, this is a dirt layer, so I don't have to be too precious about where I'm painting and what I'm doing. Just as long as it blends into itself. I'm going to do the same down here on the bottom. I'm just going to bake that down. Alright, let's move that out of the way and play with our layer styles a bit more. So let's go with darken to begin with. Let's try and multiply. Let's pull that right back. Maybe like that. I'm going to export that and check it in Max. So export flattened, export everything flattened. Again, we're going to overpaint our original file name, so that's fine. Okay, let's jump back into Max. Again, we'll reload our texture. Let's have a bit of a look here. And again, as I was saying, you'll see it shows up much darker in Max than it does in Mari. That's like probably a gamma difference between the two pieces of software. Okay, I'm just checking the overall texture for any errors or problems. I'm just noticing here, I don't like the way that that texture has been repeated there and there. So again, I'm going to jump back into Mari. It's this section just here that I think I'm noticing, or it could be this one here actually. So I am going to zoom in a bit, throw on a new layer, jump back to that texture we've been using to paint up that model, and scale it up a bit. I'm just going to paint out that repetition that I'm noticing. I'm actually going to paint out both parts of it, I think. I could have left one in, but I don't want it in there at all. And again, these lines here, I'm noticing they're all repeating, so let's fix that up as well. These little dots, white dots and black dots. Let's move our texture around a bit, maybe through here, and through here, and just a bit through here. Alright, just going to fix that edge up there as well. Okay, just have a quick look here, and no, that's not too bad. You won't notice that repetition just there and there on this part of the model. Let me see now. We get there and there. Let's just re-export that again and have a look. Export flattened, export everything flattened. Again, we're just going to overwrite our original file name. Let's also just save our project really quickly to make sure we don't have any crashes or problems. Again, let's just reload our texture. It's important to pull back on the model and check it from a distance as well. I'm just looking at the texture to make sure that it fits with the rest of the terrace. Again, as I said, I may do a bit of color correction in Photoshop. That's what I did with the stairs once we'd painted them up, and also the tiles that were up here on the top. Okay, let's will we do the correction in Photoshop now? Let me think. No, we won't. We'll do another 3 variations of this so that we can start repeating it around the outside of the model. So let's jump back into Mari. And that's the good thing about working with Mari is we've already got the project set up here. So to create some variations, it's going to be pretty easy for us. All we have to do is turn off. Let me just move that out of the way. Turn off the layers that we're going to replace. So you can't see them, they're on the other side, but these are these dark parts of the texture that we've been painting in. Again, that was that light part, I think, at the bottom, the darker part, sorry, at the bottom. This is the light part, I think, at the top. Yep. I'm just going to check what these ones at the very top were. So I'm going to turn them back on. Okay, that was the actual dirt texture on the top. And that was the corrections we made to the side. All right, we'll leave that on. I'm going to turn that dirt layer up on the top though, because we'll change that up. I'll just move that layer down so that I know that from here down is the old texture and from there up will be the changes. So I'm going to throw on a new layer. And we're just going to repeat what we did, but we're going to change it up a bit. So I'm just going to angle the model slightly back so that the masking is taking effect, and we're going to grab a new texture. And you want to try and grab something that's different from what we used last time. So and this is the front of the model, the side facing out from us, not the one facing into the interior of the tiles. Let's scale that down a bit. Again, on a new layer, we're going to paint that in. And bake that down. I'm going to grab a different texture, maybe this one here. Scale it down, move our model up and pull in a bit, Again, I'm going to rotate the model back slightly. And we'll paint this one in. Again, I'm going to paint over that white mark at the bottom there, but again, it'll show up again when we change the layer style. Press the Alt key to back it down. This bit's down here on the end. We'll bake that down. Let's work with this side now. Again, I'm angling the model back slightly. Again, I'm rotating the texture to match. Let's work with this ledge through here, I think. Don't worry about going over there because we're going to be changing the layer style, so you're not going to notice it. Any of the black areas will disappear, so let's bake that down. And maybe this edge down here, I think. But let's change the texture again. And I'm going to scale it down and paint that in. And bake that down. Alright, let's play with our layer styles a bit now. So let's go up to here and probably try and add and pull it right back. Jump around to the other side and check that as well. Let's throw on a new layer and grab a new texture. No, not that one. As I've been saying too, I tend to stick to the same texture maps just to add consistency throughout the model. Let's work with this one here, I think. Scale it down. Rotate the model forward a little. I think we'll paint along this edge here, I think. Break that down, and we'll also paint probably along this edge here. So I'm just going to rotate the model forward slightly. I'm also going to scale that back just a bit. We'll bake that down. Let's change our layer style here. And pull it back. Alright, we'll jump around to the other side and work on this top ledge here, I think. scale it up, rotate it around, paint it in. Break that down, and let's work on that edge down the bottom there. I'm going to scale it up a bit. Okay, let's bake that down. We'll throw one more layer on. So I know from there down is our old first texture set, and from there up is the variation we're doing. So let's just grab another texture. Hey Gemmin, we're working on a garden terrace. It's this one here. So that at the moment we're working on texturing up a couple of variations on the banisters just here, so that we can start repeating them around the outside. We don't have to texture up each individual piece separately. If we just create 2 or 3 different variations on one texture, then if we repeat them around and vary them up, you won't notice that you're repeating the texture. We did that here with the columns, these small columns, and also with the small banisters in here, the white banisters. So we've created one texture. We're just going to do a variation that we can start repeating around now. So let's jump back into Mari here and move that texture out of the way. Just try and do, okay. All right, so we're working on a new layer now. I just want to add a bit of a dark texture to it. So thank you. Yeah, glad you like it. Thank you, Digitalis, for hosting the channel. I really appreciate it. I love Mari. Yeah, no, I really do. I've used Substance Painter as well, and it's very good. But I'm used to working with Mari now, and I like it because I can use really large texture sizes. Generally, I'll work with really large textures, and then I can reduce them in Photoshop if I need to. Hey, Digitalis, how's things? Good to see you. So we've got our new layer. Let's just find a texture we can use that's a little bit darker. I appreciate it. I always appreciate it when you guys follow my channel and host me as well. That's great. Thank you very much. So if anyone's watching and they have a Twitch channel and they want to host me, feel free. I appreciate it. Let's see. Let's grab this texture and see what it looks like. Right, this one might work. Let's just scale it down a bit. We're working on a new layer again. We're going to add a bit of a dark variation to it. Do you, Digitalis, are you a 3D artist, or what sort of artwork do you do? Let's work on this bottom edge here, I think. Actually, no, let's work on this edge here. What's the end product? We're working on these banister railings at the moment. I'm just creating a few different variations on it. Is that what you meant? Egemin or Eggman or? So yeah, we're just creating a few variations so that we can start repeating the texture around the outside of the garden terrace here. Oh, 3D hard surface modeler, Digitalis, cool. What program do you use? Are you a Blender guy, a Maya guy, a Max guy? Let's just scale it down a little bit. Max, Blender, and Modo. Oh, cool. Oh, no, this is actually eGemin. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. Mostly Max. Okay, cool, Digitalis. I love Max. I actually sell my work on the creative market and on Cornucopia 3D. I've been doing that for the last years now. So I create these. The model I'm working on now in Max will be up for sale on my creative market store and on Eon View. If you go to my website, PhilDoes3D.com or philipfair.com. Either one is fine. You'll see links to both of my stores. So that I'm creating this to actually sell in my creative market and Cornucopia 3D stores. Sorry, eGemin, for Nightbot timing you out there. Just links aren't allowed in the chat unless I permit them. So yeah, you can see my work on the creative market and on Cornucopia. Do you want me to Orvo Comword? Okay. Let me copy that. Cool. Yes, I am sorry if I'm mispronouncing it. And I'm sorry Nightbot timed you out. Yeah, no, it's for sale on my it will be placed up for sale on my creative market store and on Cornucopia 3D as well. So that's what it's for. I do commission work as well, and no doubt during some of my streams I will be doing commission work. But this particular model is just up for my personal 3D stores. So. And so you're mostly using Max Digitalis. Cool. I like Max. I've been using Max for a long time, and I really like the interface. Let's just break that down by hitting the Alt key. Yeah, I've been using Mari for a long time, so it's by no means the only program or the best program. It's just what I'm used to. Substance Painter is very good as well. I know a lot of guys use that when they want to do 3D painting. Some people just prefer to use Photoshop, and I do a bit of texture work in Photoshop too. I like Mari though because of the combined 3D painting and UV painting. So if you don't want to paint in a 3D viewport, you can always jump straight back into the UV layout and paint that way. Just really convenient. Let's darken that up a bit. Mostly environment props, yeah. When I worked for the game studios, I was an environment artist, so that's mainly the sort of work that I do. So I do environment props as well as landscape art. That's why I use Eon View and why I sell my stuff on their website as well on Cornucopia, because I use Eon View quite a bit. Blender is very good, Digitalis. I mean, I'm not going to knock Blender. I think it's a great program for 3D software. I'm just used to working with Max because I do architectural visualization work as well. So, and all of those studios generally want to use Max. I know Maya is used a lot for character animation, and it's used a lot in games because of that. Yeah. eGemin, Mari is not very handy and not cheap. Mari actually gives away a free version. If you're not using it for commercial purposes, you can download it for free. So if you go to the Foundry's website, you'll find a link to download it. They don't charge you for it. I think the only restrictions they place are, apart from not using it for commercial work, is I think the texture size maximum is 4K. Generally that's going to be enough for most people though anyway. Anything above 4K is generally our cinema work, so yeah, it's free. They have a free version. The same thing with Eon View. I know Eon View's program can be quite expensive to purchase, but they also have a personal learning edition that you can download and use if you wanted to try it out. Thanks, Digitalis. Glad you like the work, my modelling. Are you using it for commercial purposes? Okay. Well, I know Substance Painter is also very good. There's no reason that you should stick to one anyway. As the guys were saying in chat yesterday, Substance Painter has an ability to do chip paint along edges and stuff automatically. That's not in Mari yet, so. Are you making weapons and vehicles, Digitalis? Cool. Yeah, I haven't done a lot of vehicle work. I did do one. There is one wrecked car in my portfolio on the creative market in Cornucopia. I don't think I've ever done any weapon work though. All right, so let's try multiply instead of darken, I think. Let's pull it right back. So let's go back to darken. Yes, you are. Just give me a sec to permit you to post a link. You should be good to go now. For 60 seconds, you can post a link to Digitalis. No problem. Do you mind if I check your work out? If you want, I'll do it off stream if you don't want anyone else to see. I always like looking at what you guys, what your work is like, what you've been doing. But I perfectly understand if you don't want me to stream your portfolio to everyone. All right, let's grab another texture, I think. Okay, cool. All right, let's I'll open it up and we'll have a look. So I've had a few guys show me their stuff, and I always enjoy looking at other people's work. What do you mean the link is deleted? Okay, so this is Digitalis's portfolio here on ArtStation. You can't see the link. I don't understand why. You should be able to see it. Unless Nightbot is doing something, has timed you out for some reason. I'm not sure. But if you look on my screen, you'll see his link just here. It's artstation.com/artist/digitalis. So if you want to pop that into your browser and check it out, let's have a look. Why are you calling it a terrible shotgun? Dude, that's not terrible, that's quite good. I don't think this is terrible at all. I think it's great. Very nice. Let's have a look at some of the others. Gamescom trailer, okay. Oh, it's the name of the gun. Okay. That explains a lot. Yeah, no, it looked great. It looked really good. So you did the modeling, texturing, and animation of the weapons in this game. Okay. Cool. I like the art style. Right. The name of the gun is that name in the game. Okay. Very nice. Yes, that's very nice. So all of this edging here is done in Substance Painter, yeah? All of the weathering and wearing on the edges of the model texture. What's this link here to Imager? That looks really good. Nice clean lines, yeah, very nice. That's really interesting too. I like the depth of field. I like the color palette as well. Cool.